should do it.
Okay.
All right, boys.
Welcome.
Shogun.
Cute.
You guys see my bookmarks?
That's tight. That's tight.
I have some for you guys whenever I see you next.
Oh, sweet.
That's
I
a
thought
great
you
idea.
just bought
Oh, nice.
for like marking your way through the book.
No, it came in a pack. So I got 6 in the pack.
Okay.
In the Japanese bookmark pack.
Damn, bitch. That's sweet.
Sponsored.
Ha!
Go on our website.
That'd be
Not
sick.
sponsored.
That'd be sick if like they saw me and Ishan's videos with 3 views, and like we should send these guys books, bookmarks.
Some legit bookmarks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Branded.
How are we feeling? We are 6 chapters into Shogun by James Clavell.
Yeah, Beast books.
Popular Hulu series. I hate when they fucking do that. When they put
What?
like a sticker that's not a sticker and it says fucking streaming now on Hulu. I'm gonna have
You
this
can't
book
take it off.
in 20 years. Yeah, sick, dude.
It's going to be a reminder that you got to watch the TV show again. So you guys watched the TV show?
No. I'm not
No,
gonna
I'm not
spoil it.
watching it until I finish this book.
Agreed.
Yeah. Same.
We have 800 pages to go before we can watch the series.
And then we can cross-reference and write an extremely critical review.
That's part 1. We have probably like 1,500 pages to go.
Yeah, this one's 700. I just looked.
Yeah. How many is the second one?
Like another 800 or 900.
Let's go.
Fuck. I haven't even ordered the second one yet.
Me neither. I'm waiting until we get closer to order it.
Yeah, same.
Because this is what, $25, something like that? 30 with the... It's just all like cash in on the hype of the show, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I tried to get it at the bookstore and they were out, which I assumed they would be out because of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to go to Amazon instead of supporting my local business.
Dude, okay, we want to talk book procurement. I went to Amazon, it was $21. I checked on Barnes & Noble, and they said buy one and get one half off.
Mm-hmm.
So then I drive to Barnes & Noble after work,
Right.
and I go, I want these 2 books. It's buy one, get one half off. And they go, no, that's online only. And I'm like, all right. Then I whip out the other Ace, and I go, do you guys price match? And they go, yeah. And then I say, well, on Amazon, it's $21, not $24. And then she goes, no, we only price match online.
That is online.
On their online store.
Oh.
So then I was like, so I drove here just to pay more. I drove here and gave you business in your store just to pay more money.
Oh.
Could you have, I mean...
What did she say to that?
But could you have bought it online and then like had in-store pickup?
Maybe, but then I said, well, the edges are a little frayed. And then they gave me 10% off. So I was happy.
Calm.
He's a shark.
You
Art of
are a
the deal.
shark. You went
Art
to
of
your
the
local
deal.
bookstore chain and fucked them out of $5.
Yeah.
$2.
Okay, it was Barnes & Noble.
I do respect it, honestly. TBH,
Yeah.
I do respect that. I'm adding a...
I go, well,
oh my god.
yeah, everybody who knows what the book or the show is has picked these up, and now the edges are tattered a little bit, so give me... Well, I didn't say that, but I said, yeah, it's kind of messed up. And then they gave me 10% off.
So you complained and got a little... I respect that. I can't fight
I get
that.
it from my mom, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He carried his way into a
Do you
discount.
see the ghost Ishan reflection there, Christian? Do that again, Ishan. Put your hand up. What the
Yeah,
hell is that?
Yeah.
It's because I have a crack right down my screen protector
Wow.
camera.
Interesting physics experiment. That's kind of sick,
Yeah,
actually.
there's just a ghost on the right side, but
All
not
right.
on the left side.
Hi. Anyway, let's talk about the book.
All right.
Christian, you want to give us a rundown of what we've read so far? The first 130 pages?
Yeah, so we're through chapter 6. First, like, big overview. They sail to Japan through the Magellan Strait.
Yeah. Who's
and
they?
then they is John Blackthorne and his crew, I believe. Did they have 5 ships at the start, like when they were going through the Magellan Strait?
That's what they said. They said it was like a voyage of 5 ships and like 500 men that originally left the New World or something like that.
I think that it was somewhere in the New World. I don't know if it was in North America or Central or South America, but then they went south to basically the tip of South America and through the islands down there.
What is the Magellan Strait? Did you look this up?
The Magellan Strait, it's on the south end of Chile. It's going through some of those islands. I don't know the exact whatevers, but it's some passage that gets you underneath South America and through onto Asia.
Interesting.
And apparently it was secret, and they got the way to get there from some Portuguese man who sold out his country, basically, because it was secret. And only the Portuguese were in Japan before this.
What the fuck was that called?
It's a little...
A rudder?
A rudder. That's right. And it's not...
A rudder.
I guess it's similar to the ship part. But yeah, it's like a book that other captains have taken notes on where they were going, how long it took them, what the sea was like, etc. And like you said, this other Portuguese dude sold... These were supposed to be super secret because it's like they only want their country to have these trading routes or this access. And he sold out basically his whole country. And it's like, take all my notes, bro. It's like cheating.
It is cheating.
Yeah,
he cheated his whole country out of it.
Buy the notes from the upperclassmen.
Yeah, Portugal would have had, a monopoly on Japanese imports and exports, and do still through at least where we've read.
Right. So,
and going further on, so they keep going through the Magellan Strait, and then big storm hits. Storm wipes pretty much everybody out.
Wipes their ass.
Yeah, a bunch of people die. People are thrown overboard. Ship is heavily damaged. And then we wake up later with John Blackthorne in a strange land with strange people around him.
Yeah, a stranger in a strange land.
A stranger in a strange land.
Yeah.
Ugh. God damn.
So John Blackthorne wakes up in what we can only assume is Japan at this point. And from this description of what's around him, it confirms our suspicions with, what are they? The paper doors and the floor mats, and he's sleeping on a cot on the floor. And they describe, the people there. And it's obvious that they are describing, Japanese people. The language that is described also tells us that it is, they've reached their destination and they've woken up and somehow washed ashore. We don't know how up to that point, but yeah, that's where we start. I guess chapter 1, because the rest was the prologue.
True. Yeah. Introduction to the crew, Blackthorne, who's Dutch. I don't know what the rest of his crew is, if they're all Dutchmen or if some
Blackthorne
are
is
English
British.
or what. But they gave gave a little preamble of current time or in time English European combat, I guess, or like fucking politics at the time. Yeah, they're all European, came to the New World, plundered a bunch of stuff, destroyed things, killed people, and then made for Japan to try and dodge other Portuguese ships that were around New World or something like that.
No, I think they were going there for riches.
Respect.
It was the land of like emeralds and gold and a bunch of other stuff that they claimed.
Tight.
And they would be the first people to get there that were not Portuguese.
That is pretty cool. So they're there now. He wakes up and everything's chill.
Yeah,
He wakes up.
Chill. He's got soup and he's got food. Yeah.
He's
in a
treated
nice
well.
little bed thing.
Yeah.
Woman comes, takes care of him. They're he was completely naked. They gave him his clothes back. He's walking around, totally freaked out. Links up with the boys, and they're all talking about how it's like, this is sweet. A couple of them were banging. A couple of them are like eating. They're like, this is so peaceful out here. They're wishing they had some alcohol. But other than that, they were like loving it. It was perfect.
They were enjoying it for a good amount of time.
White boys on vacation.
Yep.
And then I don't really remember how it all went to shit.
Well, so they were waiting for the daimyo to come, and also
That's right. They were
I guess just
temporary
the
guests.
leader. Yeah, so they're temporary guests, and they were waiting for both the daimyo and before the daimyo comes, for the leader of the village, or like the what is it called in the fief, whatever, one of the samurai, but the one that leads that area is like the head of that area, the duke or the duke of that area, but the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were waiting for him, and then how did it progress from they're all happy and chilling to actually,
Well, what happened was the priest was not on his guy's side. And then I think when the uncle shows up, the priest is like, hey, these guys suck. Like, you need to kill them.
Yeah.
And then Blackthorn spam bows. And
That's
then
tight.
just like insults the priest. And then, there was one, I don't have my book, but there was one quote that was really funny. And he was like, your king's dick goes back in his ass where it belongs, or something like that.
Yeah, talking about the king of Portugal.
So I think it was a bunch of background to that whole thing. So they, after he meets up with the boys, he encounters the Portuguese priest, who is a Catholic priest, and England at the time was Protestant.
I think so, yeah.
So they immediately hate each other, and there's a huge political dispute between those two countries, and there's war back at home against, I think, the Spanish Empire and the English Empire. And the Netherlands is an active rebellion against the English, right?
I can't remember. One of the two.
No, Netherlands is in rebellion against Spain.
So they want to be part of the English Empire?
No, they're just allies against Spain.
Regardless, yeah. He basically tells the guy to go fuck himself. But then...
But that's what Blackthorn's... What is Blackthorn's crew? Are they Portuguese or are they Dutch?
I think they're Dutch.
They're Dutch.
So they're allied because the Dutch want to also be imperialists and not live under, like, Spanish rule. And then, like, his crew is kind of cool with Blackthorn there because they're allies, but they're also like, oh, well, the British people are also being imperial and we're going to have to fight them someday. But for right now, they're allies.
Gotcha. Okay. And then there's, I guess the Dutch are also Protestant.
But this Portuguese guy is not. And
Portuguese guys.
That's what they're kind of tweaking a little bit. Because the Portuguy is, this Catholic priest he speaks Japanese, and he's like tied to Murrah. And Murrah is the guy whose house that Blackthorn was staying at. He's the head of the village of Anjiro, which is where they find out they are. And this Catholic priest is somehow like, he's not sworn to this guy, but he's like, he's here because that was his assignment or something like that, to keep spreading the religion of Christianity, Catholicism. Yeah. And So now they're at odds with this Catholic priest who's kind of a dickhead, but that's their only translator. Like, that's the only guy that they can use to actually speak to these people, and they've pissed him off. But
Cool.
yeah,
He's already pissed off by their existence.
Right. Exactly.
Like, because of who they are.
Yeah, he hates them. He thinks they're sinners.
Yeah. And they also think he's a sinner.
But yeah, Mura is the head of the village. Then there's Omi, who is his boss and is, like you say, Christian, the Duke. He's the ruler of the fief, which includes the village of Anjiro. Mm-hmm. And then I guess he's just there. I don't remember why he was there. I think he was just there. But how he's introduced is Mura is talking to a bunch of like villagers, and he's saying they basically captured Blackthorn and his crew's ship, and it's just sitting in the port filled with unimaginable riches. They've got a shitload of silver, they've got a shitload of guns, cannons, all this stuff, and it's just sitting in the harbor. And so Omi's there with Mura. They've captured this ship, and they're talking about how they need all these villager guys to start working and making shit to camouflage all this shit and get it off the ship and ship it elsewhere. And then the villager guy's like, all right, we can do it. And they all bow, but one guy like doesn't bow, and Omi like cuts his head off.
Just clean slices his head off.
Bro didn't bow, you're dead. Just clips him.
Yeah.
So that was intense. Because that shows it's like this guy doesn't give a shit. Anybody below him might as well not be a man. He didn't care.
And this Blackthorn witnessed this, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was sitting there and he just saw his head get chopped off.
Mm-hmm. So that's where I think it all went south for him, too. Because they were chilling, except for the Portuguese guy. And then, that dude got his head separated from his shoulders. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he described it as like it was just a blinding flash of light. Like, it was the fastest he's ever seen anybody move.
Which is so sick.
Decapitated him.
Yeah, it's tight.
Really cool. Yeah, so after that whole like encounter, I guess Omi starts interrogating Blackthorn through the Portuguese, right?
I think so.
And that's where like Blackthorn's kind of like, how the fuck do I get a message through this Portuguese guy who is going to do whatever he can to make me look bad to Omi to save my life, because they're going to kill me if I don't do something. Because it's not a trial, but it is effectively a trial for him and his men. Yeah. Right. So he says, he kind of just threatens the Portuguese guy and says, you need to say exactly what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, to Omi.
Was Yabu here somehow, yet? Was this pre-Yabu?
Yabu hasn't gotten there even later, even in chapter 6. I think he's not there.
No, Yabu's...
He's there, dude. The daimyo's there.
The daimyo's there.
He's been there for a while.
But he hasn't met Blackthorn yet, has he?
Yeah, he literally...
I think he and Omi are the ones that are doing this interrogation thing. I think Yabu was there.
With Omi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Yabu is...
I was relying on you guys. I was drunk camping reading this.
I've been trying to keep it all this together in my head. So Mura is the village head, Omi runs the fief, and Yabu is the daimyo who has a bunch of fief guys below him.
Yeah.
And then he's like a regent or something like that to higher level daimyos who have more control and more power. And the absolute top dog you can be is a title granted by the emperor. You're the Shogun, and you're the ruler. Like, you have direct, like, fucking divine mandate from the emperor to do whatever you want. You collect taxes. You're the guy. You're basically the king. But the only way you can be the Shogun is if you're a descendant of like 3 ancient families. Or something like that. So Yabu is a couple steps below. He's not quite that goated, but he has this thing that is dropped in his lap of this insanely rich ship with guys who may or may not be that Christian or are not Catholic that he just has under his thumb. And so that's where he's in this village. He came here specifically to come see the ship and see the barbarians, is what they call the white guys. And that's where what you're talking about, Christian. That's where they're in this meeting now. Yabu has arrived, and he's basically going to preside over their fate and tell them what they're going to do with them, and then tell his guys what to do with the ship.
Yeah, Yabu came like in secret. It took him 2 days, and he came in secret. And he was like ordered not to go by the guy above him. I remember reading that. And then he like kind of snuck in because Omi was like, "Hey, dude, there's this crazy ship."
Dude, there's a crazy ship happening this weekend. There's going to be tons of gold and guns.
Tons of gold. Sorry. That ain't my kind of fun.
Keep going.
So have you guys read past when the top dog shows up?
Yeah.
We're at chapter 7.
We got up to chapter 7.
So how does chapter 6 end?
Well, should we go through?
Yeah, keep going. Keep giving us the summary.
What happened?
Okay.
We're still recapping. It's been 20 minutes. We're still recapping.
I think 45 minutes recapping the fucking book.
Well, we gotta talk. Right. We gotta talk about what happened, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess
we're talking about
the future thing is like we should block it out and say this is the recap points. Because what we're doing right now is we're just like, oh, I can't fucking remember actually what happened.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
We're kind of, it's not quite in line, but I'm having fun, so that's what matters. But they have the meeting.
So they have the meeting, and then they get tossed all into basically a torture chamber. Yeah, a pit.
They get thrown in a fucking cellar.
Yeah, all 10 of them. So it's a crew of 10 guys total.
Yeah.
Blackthorn and 9 others. And they're in this pit. And they're stuck in this pit for, I don't know, like a day before anything happens. It's so small that they can't all lie down. Only like a couple of them can at a time. And I don't think they can like fully extend.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all suffering down there. And then finally, Omi comes and says, "You guys are welcome to be in our lands under my control. Like you are basically, I own you. But you will live and you can come out of this prison that you're currently in, but only if you give up one of your men for death."
Yeah. Sacrifice.
So he gives them this message. You know, they're all mad and like throughout the whole thing, they're yelling and screaming. They want water and food, but you know, the Japanese are giving them water and food twice a day. Of course, I think it's, you know, pretty limited rations, but
yeah, the only reason they even gave them water and food because like they were yelling for it at first, and then they just dumped a bucket of like rotting fish in there with them, and just let that sit.
Water.
That was fucking brutal. Well, like even the only reason they let them live in the first place is because in that big ass meeting where they're like fighting for their lives, basically he kind of just fucks up the priest and breaks his crucifix, and then the Japanese, like the daimyo, is like, maybe these guys aren't Christian and maybe they can help me banish this fucking religion from my state. So he was kind of like, oh, maybe we can actually use these guys. But yeah, then he throws them in a pit, throws a bunch of fucking fish offal on them, and I don't know how long they've been in the pit for.
I think it's only a few days.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's very long, but because they're basically in a pit with rotting fish and flies and all this stuff,
Jesus.
They're trying to get out of there fast.
Yeah.
Okay, then they boil the guy, and Yabu gets jerked off by.
Well, before they boil the guy, so they come back after. They're like, we're going to give you the day to decide on who dies. So to choose who dies, they draw straws, and they say whoever gets the shortest straw will be the one that we choose to die.
Yeah.
And everybody agrees on it except for Blackthorn. But he goes along with it and he draws a straw, and it ends up being, I don't remember who it ends up being. It doesn't really matter. It's like Vinnick or something like that, right? Vink.
I think they're all
Who's
replaceable. I don't think any of
Yeah.
them are going to show up in any
No, I
capacity.
don't think they're all going to be major characters. But so it's Vink. It's just one of the crew members, and he shits himself. Like he sees the like he literally feces flowing down his leg. Nobody
what do they
noticed.
say?
But
Christ God or something like that. Christ Jesus.
Christ Jesus.
Oh, Christ
Christ
Jesus.
Jesus.
Christ
Yeah.
Jesus.
And so they're all trying to talk him up and like make him feel better. It's
Yeah.
like, you're the anointed one. You're the chosen one.
Yeah,
You'll
dude,
be
you're a
taken
beast.
care of. Like,
You're the sacrificial
going to
lamb.
heaven.
You're in God's hands. God loves you.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So then Omi comes back to hear about their decision, and everybody in the crew is thinking, okay, we're going to be given, Vinnick up, like, whatever, we have to do this.
Yeah.
Otherwise we can't do anything. And Blackthorn is standing there like, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
We're not giving anybody
We're not giving
up.
you Vink.
Fuck that.
We're not giving you
I
Twink,
didn't agree
bro.
to this.
Twink stays.
Yeah. So then Blackthorn, basically says, we're not doing this when Omi comes back, and they attack. They try to pull him out, sacrifice, or one of them. So they send a bunch of samurai into the pit, and what happens is one of those samurai gets knocked out while they're in the pit.
They put up a pretty good fight.
Yeah, they put up a very good fight. They knocked out one of the samurai. They were all unarmed. The samurais just sitting in all the fish guts and shit with them. And the samurais managed to steal one of the crew members. What is it, like?
Peter Zoon or some bullshit.
Yeah, Peter Zioun or something like that.
I guess he's like this redhead guy, and I guess before either Yabu or Omi saw him and were like, I would fucking love to torture that guy. And so it ended up being that guy anyway. But yeah, Twink did not get taken, and he was, after Peter Zoon gets taken, he was crying. He's like, I was the chosen one, and now they've robbed me of my destiny. I'm cursed forever. Like, he thought he was going to hell. The samurai was knocked out. He fucked up Blackthorn. I don't know if it was that samurai or another one, but they fucked Blackthorn up. He was hurt. They cut somebody else up pretty good. So they're maimed, they're hurt, and they're still in the fucking stinking fish pit. And one of their boys getting taken up to go be killed. And they have no idea how.
Yeah. They have festering wounds and all this stuff.
Yeah. Covered in fucking
and
flies.
Then
they dumped
leave.
more fish on him, I think, after that, too. They do another 2 barrels on him.
Yeah, now it's like 6 inches of fish guts in their prison.
Jesus. Christ Jesus.
Christ Jesus, dude. I love, okay, so all the white people go Christ Jesus, and then all the Japanese people end with nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Is that, how do you guys read that? Because I go like, oh, then I would be Shogun, nah.
I read it the same way. I don't know how else to do it. It's weird. It's like a weird little ending. Nah.
Nah.
And it turns like statements into questions, too.
Yeah.
Really
it's
strange.
what all it's saying is right. It's like, oh, this is cool, right?
Oh.
Like, that's what nah.
But I read it with such attitude. Like, I read it like it's a 4th grader going like, eh.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
So they read it as like right.
Yeah, they take a redhead guy, they bring him up top, and they just throw him in a fucking pot and boil him alive.
Well, before that, they do that because they pull up Blackthorn, and they're talking to Blackthorn, and they're like, look, you can come up. But what's the trade? Are they like, you have to choose somebody again?
Well, this
no,
was...
they say you have to obey, and
no,
he
so
doesn't
the guy,
obey.
So hold on, they took the guy up. This is how they tortured the guy. The one guy they took up, they boiled that fucker alive.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%.
They boiled him alive.
They put him in the pot, and he was just screaming for like a full day. Okay. And he was just getting slowly parboiled. Because they weren't like letting it get so hot that he was going to die quick. They were like stoking it, and then it'd get hot, and then they'd cool it down a little bit, and he was just going in and out of consciousness, just screaming. And Yabu, the daimyo, is just at the top of the mountain. Well, before he's even getting jacked, he's just sitting and meditating for like hours. Everybody in the whole village is like, this is fucked up. And Yabu is just motionless on his heels in the samurai pose, making poetry. That's crazy.
Writing, dude, the poetry was so funny. They were.
Yeah, that was pretty beastly.
He's like, tell me a poem about this guy dying, and the guy,
yeah.
I don't know. He's like, that's good. Also, the rock here is going to be. I'm going to ship you a rock that I really enjoy.
Yeah, that was tight.
You're going to call it Screaming Ginger Man Rock
Yeah.
now.
But
That
they were
was
all
interesting to me. Like the whole gardening thing, and like I
Yeah.
didn't know any of that, but I could. That was cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, they're screaming. He's screaming the whole night, and then Yabu, the screams finally stop, or he just eventually goes to bed, and he ordered a courtesan and a young boy in there with him. And from what I could tell, he just has them both jack him off until he comes in like 30 seconds, and then just goes to sleep.
Yep.
Which is
And then, of course, it wasn't any courtesan. It was like the top chick.
The top dog. Yeah.
She's the
highest
number one
dog.
courtesan.
Yeah.
In that area,
Mhm.
right?
Like, she has her own maids. Like she's respected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after they jerk him off, the courtesan and the young boy get to chatting, and then they do the deed
He gets to
together.
bang her. That was pretty tight. Good for him. Good for the young man. Young beast. Young beast. But it said he was whatever. He liked the men anyway, so he was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
Yeah.
mid actually. Pussy's mid.
Yeah.
pyramid.
It was cool they used so when they say Mama-san, that was something that is in Tokyo Vice too. Like a Mama-san is like at least in that show, the way I gathered it was it's like a head woman of a place. So like in Tokyo Vice, they like have these clubs where women will you basically just like buy time with women to just talk to them and have them sit with you and pour you drinks.
Yeah.
I think it's
date.
called what is it called, Christian? I asked you like 2 weeks ago. Mizu Shobai. You basically you just go there and you pay for women to come like pour you drinks and sit and pretend to be interested in what you say.
Yeah,
And the like
intimidate.
head mom of those things.
Yeah, you pay for a date.
Average Friday night.
Yeah.
And then the mom there is also called Mama-san.
I've seen that in that was in Yakuza.
What, Mizu
You
Shobai?
run one of those. It's not quite a brothel, but yeah, you have the guys come in, they pay to sit down with a girl and get drinks with them.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent. But yeah, I saw that too. That's nuts. She was cool. I wonder if she'll come back later. Yiku was her name?
I don't know.
Something
I
like
don't know.
that. Yiku-san.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day after, everybody wakes up. And then what you were talking about, Christian, where they went and talked to the guys in the pit again, and they say Blackthorn only comes out, and they bring him out, and Omi is kind of negotiating with him basically, and he's saying, if you can come out, you get to stay out, but you have to obey, you have to fucking behave, you have to act normal.
And just Blackthorn, right?
Yes, just Blackthorn. And Blackthorn's like, this is bullshit. Like, what about my guys? And he's like, fuck your guys. And then Blackthorn's basically like, I'm not doing it. And he tries to go back in the pit. And they block him. And they push him down. And they're like, if you don't like chill right now, I'm going to throw another one of your guys in the pot. And he says, fuck you. And then they go and grab another guy out of the pit. And then Omi also pisses on his back. He's like, you piss on me, I'll piss on you. Puts his guy in the pot. They start heating the pot up. And then Blackthorn's like, I'm sorry. I'll chill.
Yep. He submits, basically.
Yeah, that kid, that one that they pulled out, he's like 15 or 16 or something.
Yeah, he's a kid. He's a child. So they pull his ass, pull him out of the pot, put him back in the pit. Something like that.
No, they said that he can sleep upstairs.
Oh, true. They let him chill too.
Yeah. And then they're going to let more guys up if both of them do their thing and are honorable and don't cause any problems. They're going to let more guys up as They do that, but then Blackthorn is also solely responsible for any mistakes made by anybody in his crew.
Yes. So they're giving him some slack now. They did it. They picked the guy kind of to kill. The rest of them are given a chance here now. They might be useful to the daimyo in his bid to try and get more power, basically. He's taken all the guns, all the cannons, all the wealth off the ship, and basically it's like one of those fucking mobile game ads where he's got 1,000,000 power now in
Levels up.
battle level online.
One goon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a level 25 boss now, basically.
Boss. Yeah.
The only reason that the daimyo kept them around, that Yabu kept them around, and Omi kept them around, was because of the, him jumping on the priest and being like, oh, we can use these guys to get rid of the Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly.
And get rid of Christianity, basically. So we can leverage this power because the Portuguese control the ports and they control all the trade with Japan and China. So, that's their big bid is, we now have the weapons, but we also have a way to root out the Portuguese. So we can fight against the other daimyos a lot better, and we can also, get rid of this sacrilegious religion that is bullshit. Only allowed because the emperor has basically given a decree that the Portuguese and Christianity will be tolerated. Otherwise, they would be killing the Portuguese and getting them out of their land.
Mm. Yeah. Basically, then Blackthorn's out. Omi is telling Yabu, he's like, we've got them. We totally broke these guys for now. They're fucked up. They don't want to go back in the pits. We've got them. And Yabu's like, that's tight. You did so good. Here's a bunch of land. Here's a bunch of other shit. I'm going to give you armor. I'm going to give you the cool rock that Ishan was talking about. I'm going to give you kimonos and swords and shit. I'm promoting you. You get more land. And then he's like, all right, also you need to come with me or some shit to go to this castle. We might be fucking guys up soon. And then Yabu opens the door. He's going to go get on his horse. And he sees his boss's ship pulling up in the harbor. And that's where we had to leave off, basically.
So you guys haven't read past that?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's the really big chapter that I'm 5 pages in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to read that tonight.
Me too.
Okay.
But what do we think? What are our opinions on this?
I like it a lot so far. I am excited for Blackthorn to get some I'm waiting for it to happen. I can smell it on the horizon. Somebody is going to take Blackthorn in and give him some badass training, and he's going to be tight.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Dune and Last Samurai and James Bond, that one James Bond movie, Die Another Day.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, well, yeah.
But I can see it. Yeah. I can smell it coming. They've let these guys out, which was their biggest mistake. Blackthorn hates Omi because he pissed on him.
Yeah.
But some fucking guy, whether it's going to be Mura because he also hates Omi, I think, or whoever, but somebody's going to take in the white boy and give him some samurai training, and he's going to be a fucking menace. I can't wait.
Yeah, he's going to be a beast.
That's my prediction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think so too.
It's a good prediction. I think he's going to go hang out at the old guy's house with a bunch of women and then leave and then start a church.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
The end is going to be him preaching about how sex is cool and everyone should love each other.
Yeah, he get set on fire and killed.
Yeah.
I hope
that was
not.
last.
I hope that doesn't happen in this book too.
That happens again. No, I think this is just going to be like Game of Thrones. My dad got me onto Shogun. He was like, I read this with my college buddies. And he still remembers a lot of it. He's like, yeah, they call him, what do they call him now? What is it, pilot?
Anjin.
Yeah, they go Anjin. So he would tell me, he's like, Anjin-san, and then he was like, they measure everything in rice. It's called kokus. They measure it in rice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kokus are interesting.
So I think we're in good hands. I think so far this has been like the best book that I've read in a long time.
Yeah, and compared to something like Game of Thrones, like this is just a lot more readable of a book. Like Game of Thrones was dense and extremely descriptive, and it's difficult to it's a lot to read. There's a lot of information. With this, it's like very approachable. Like it's not too complex. It has enough complexity to keep you satisfied and satiated, but you're not like having to reread every page because there's like a million details that you're about to miss. So it's nice, and I think it's written well, and it keeps you engaged. And I've been enjoying it so far. It's got like, man, feudal Japan is like a scary place because they really do not give a fuck about human life there at all, like not one bit.
Yeah, like that dude who didn't bow to Omi. Then he was talking to Mura, and he's like charging Mura a koku of rice and fish or something like that from that guy's family as recompense for dishonoring him. And it's like he was saying that's enough to feed that family for a whole fucking year. There's no way. And he said you have 1 week to get it together. And he's just like, they're not going to be able to do that.
What the fuck did I do?
But Omi's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm charging you. You have to do it.
Well, that's actually how it's measured. The what's the rice currency called?
Koku.
So the kokus are a koku. One koku is the amount of rice that would be needed to feed a family of 4 for a year, and that's just one koku.
Jesus.
I think it's like 350 kilograms of rice or something like that.
Yeah, that's insane. So they beasted him.
Yeah, he just basically ruined the guy's family. It's cool how honored these guys are, and like how, like they weren't interested in killing the foreigners. They were like, we got to teach these guys manners. Like that's how important it is to them. They're like, we don't like some of these guys are gonna die on the way to teaching them how to be proper.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that still reflected in like modern times.
Yeah, it's extremely honor bound. They're like, we are putting up barbarians in our houses and we're feeding them and we're bathing them and we're doing all this nice stuff because, one, that's our honor. That's what we are supposed to do. And we have to follow the commands of our like higher ups.
What the fuck was that?
That's pretty crazy.
I don't know how you did that.
What the fuck was that? How did that happen?
What is going on?
I give Shogun 2 thumbs up. There we go.
How are you doing
that?
I don't know. I just went like this.
I don't have
You have to make it extremely
Oh my God, what?
Extremely animated. It's an iPhone thing. That's just an iPhone thing.
Oh!
Yeah, thumbs down. What other emotes you got? Do a bow.
Yeah.
To end this, we'll all stand up and bow.
I think he becomes a ninja. I think he doesn't become a samurai, but they'll let him be a ninja.
That's interesting. Fuck, dude, like a ninja sect takes him in? That'd be sick.
Well, we haven't seen any ninjas yet, so we don't know about that.
I also think that he's the only one that's going to survive. The rest of his crew was going to get picked off one by one or something. There's no way they make it past the next 5 chapters.
There might be like one that survives and becomes his like partner in crime or his buddy, but I don't think we're gonna have a band of like 9 guys. I think it's gonna really focus on the Japanese politics with Blackthorn inserted in that and not his crew.
True.
Yep. All right.
Good talk, gang. Yeah,
Good.
I like this so far. I hope it doesn't
Cool.
disappoint me.
What do we want to get to for next week?
Book 2.
Another 150 pages.
Book 2 ends at 200 or starts at 225.
I think we should go further than that. That's only like 90 pages.
Okay.
Why don't we just do like hard that, and then we'll do a soft further than that.
I agree.
Let's just
Hard
everyone
book
just get
2.
it.
And if we get there
I think we
quick,
should, we should definitely target going further. Otherwise, this book is going to take us like 5 months to read.
Yeah,
yes, you're right. If you want to do 100 pages a week, that's 7 weeks on book 1.
Yeah, it's going to be 15 or 16 weeks total. So
What
Let's
did we
try
do
to
this
do.
week? We did 150?
We did 140 this week in a couple days, but I think we can speed up that pace.
140. Okay.
Okay.
Works for me. Hi.
Oh, yeah. Works for me, eh? Bow out. Dude, I'm wearing boxers.
All right,
All right.
thanks.